welcome back. Thanks for tuning into another video. So as you guys can see, I will be dethatching my front yard. I did my backyard about a week ago, and now it's time to do the front. As you guys can see, it's starting to green up, but I got a lot of brown that's still kind of wilted and swaying over, and some of that grass is not going to come back. Some of it will. If you tug on it and you see that it's still kind of rooted, if it doesn't come up, then yeah, it's still alive, it's still rooted, and it's just taking its time to green up. But for the most part, if you see it all wilted over and it's laying on the soil, and you can use a rake to gently rake over it, and it starts to come up, or you're going to use a dethatcher and it starts to come up, then yeah, you want to go ahead and get that grass removed right away, because it's only working against you. Because when you start to put if you plan to do a little overseeding or fertilizing, that grass or that grass seed or that fertilizer is just going to lay on top of them dead wilted roots, dead wilted grass, and it's not going to get down into the soil, and it's going to create further problems for you further into the summer months. So right now it's early enough in spring. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get all of that thatch out of there, and I'm going to go ahead and overseed, and hopefully I can get the roots. I'm confident that I could get the grass seed roots to actually root down deeply and get ready for the summer month ahead. So I don't want to bore you guys with too much talking. Let's get to action. So stay tuned. All right, so here's a quick overview of the Sunjo corded dethatcher that I'm going to be using. I want to show you guys this. So I don't think I showed you guys on my last video, but it has 5 settings. It has a -10, -5, 0, 5, and 10. The further down you put this lever, that's the deeper it's going to cut into the soil. I found that on the -10 setting, it's pretty good. It's perfect for what you're trying to do if you're trying to dethatch, especially if you're using these tines here. You do not want to put this on the 10 setting, the lowest that these tines can go into the ground, because like I said, these things can break off. They're very flimsy, as you guys can see. So the further or the harder that these things have to work or cut into the soil, you will break these. So the 5 and 10 setting on this Sunjo machine is not for the use with this dethatcher. This Sunjo does come with 2 basically a dethatcher setting and a scarifier. Now the scarifier, yeah, I would use the 5 and the 10 setting, because these blades here, as you can see, they're a lot thicker, more heavy duty, and I found that actually you could use these if you're about to overseed and you want to cut down into the soil, something like a slit seeder. This is kind of perfect for that kind of application. They said this is a more aggressive approach if you have heavy thatch buildup, but to me personally, this is more like a slit seeder kind of thing. So if you want to use the 5 and 10 setting to open up the soil, to cut the soil deeper, so if you're going to be overseeding, I would definitely use this device right here. But if you're just dethatching and you want to remove like dead grass, like dead material like this, as you see here, the fine tine setting on the 10, no lower than the 5, is pretty perfect. It'll rip up that top layer of grass, because if you go down too deep on this dethatcher thing, you will rip out some good grass. And even on the top setting of 10 and 5 here, this dethatcher thing will rip out some of your good grass. So that's a little quick overview that I wanted to give you guys on this Sunjo. Like I said, if you want to get real aggressive and you're planning to overseed, I found that this works pretty good. If you're just ripping out that top layer of dead grass, you want to go ahead and use the dethatcher setting, was the fine tine setting. So let's go ahead and get to work. You got a safety button here, so it won't turn on without pressing this button and then pulling the lever down. Like I said, it's corded, so you want to make sure you have a decent cord with a decent gauge on it, so you can keep your power going and safety issues. So guys, let's go and let's get to work. All right, so as you guys can see, I finished dethatching the yard. What do you guys think? This is side number 2 here. Look at all that thatch in the yard. And before I started, did you think it was all this thatch in the yard? Check it out. Let's get a different angle. Look at that. This is what you want. You want to get all of this dead material, thatch out of the yard. So now when you start to fertilize and water and throw your seeds down, you're getting perfect seed to soil contact. So this is side number 1 here. I did rake up this side and cleaned it up. Put a pile of thatch here. Now, as you guys can see, a bunch of thatch was in this yard also. This little side here. Hey, check it out. I didn't even think it was that much thatch, but that's all because it's hidden underneath the good grass and it's blocking the soil, as I showed you before. Now, before starting this job, it make your yard looks real thick, but after finishing, now you see a lot of spots where the yard is actually thin. So now I need to overseed to thicken it back up, and I know I'm gonna get good seed to soil contact now. I'm gonna get good germination. And this yard is gonna do a lot better this year. It did great last year, but it's gonna do even better this year. But just check it out. That little Sunjo machine is a beast. I'll tell you that. So if you're a homeowner and you don't feel like renting a machine and you got about between $120 to $150 to spend, that is a good machine to pick up. So just to have on hand for your personal use. Now, if you got bigger yard, maybe like 3,000 and up, or maybe 5,000 and up square feet, this is probably not the machine for you. You might want to go ahead and get, you know, a heavy duty machine that's probably something from like a Home Depot or Lowe's that you want to rent. But my backyard, I did this with my backyard, and it's about 2,500 square feet, and it worked fine. So I approve of it. Only thing I do like sometimes is I do like raking, because raking is a little easier because you get to move around. But you know, if you got time and you go up, down, and make little passes, and you want to overlap your passes to make sure you get every part of the yard dethatched. So now I know I got a lot of fixing to do here, but that's okay, because that's what we want. So let's take another look at this side. And we'll go back to this side. See the big difference? And it's early enough in springtime where we can actually fix this and we won't have an issue going into the summer. You can go ahead, get your grass seed down, and it can go ahead and get deeply rooted before the summer months hit, and you'll be okay to go.